Hi, it's Tara. I'm coming back to you with another perfume collection video, and this time I'm going to concentrate on one house in particular that I really love and admire and that I have a lot on. So this doesn't represent all my perfumes on this house, but it represents quite a lot. I think I'll do two videos because the other perfume are in other locations and I have to get those. But these are the ones I have on hand at the moment. So one of the best perfumes that I have from this are this perfume right here. Is this perfume right here. So this is called Le Plus Beau Jour de ma vie, and that's like the best day of my life. So basically this is a gorgeous wedding fragrance, so that's why they say it's the best day of my life, because it's basically inspired by a woman's wedding. And so it comes with a poof spray, which I don't put on. You notice that I'm not going to take it out. It's almost impossible. So basically it comes in this sealed bottle with a screw cap, and basically you're supposed to unscrew the cap and then put this poof atomizer thing on inside of it, but it's really hard to get out. And also I only did it once and I don't want to do it again, because the reason being that those atomizer bottles are really pretty, but they don't spray efficiently. So you have to keep poofing and poofing, and then the perfume, it just gets dissipated. Another thing is with that thing also kind of, I don't want to say leaks, but it's not that tight in terms of the perfume evaporating. So ever since that time, unless I want to use it, I don't dare take off the screw bottle. So it's really tight. I haven't used it in a long time. You see how dark this color is? It used to be like a light orangey peach color. But now it's like dark red, and the reason being that it has a lot of vanilla and the vanilla turned dark. This is a really, really beautiful fragrance, and it's fitting for a wedding day fragrance because it has two things that are associated with weddings traditionally, and that number one is it has a beautiful orange blossom note. And orange blossom is traditionally a wedding day flower, I think. I think it probably denotes like purity or optimism or something. But anyways, it's like a really sunny, rich, slightly orangey floral fragrance with another thing that is traditionally associated with weddings, and that is something sweet. In my childhood, we used to give away sugared almonds, or almond dragées. I think maybe that's what it's called in French. So they're basically, or we call them almonds Jordan in America. So they're basically almonds with a thin candy coated shell on the outside, and they can be white, they can be they're generally in pastel colors. So for the old wedding favors, we would put a bunch of these almonds Jordans into a little net bag, and with some flowers twisted, some paper flowers, and on a wire twisted around the mesh bag to close it. And that would just be like a really beautiful, cute little party thing that you would leave at the plate at the reception for everyone to take, and it would have the ribbon with the people's names on it being married. So I mean, things are simpler in my childhood. I don't know if those are still fashionable anymore, but I remember loving those because I would just smell the slightly sugared powder, that beautiful almondy sugar smell of that would remind me of weddings. So it combines those two things. It's a lovely, light, floral gourmand. And when I mean floral gourmand, it's not too sweet. It's got an innocent way about it, but it's really bright and sunny. So I love this so much. that I actually bought the Mom, or the concentrated one, and it's this one right here. So this is a Guerlain, kind of like a special order, and it comes with this beautiful box with embossed with the Guerlain bees on it. So basically it opens up from the top and you get this beautiful quadrilobe. This is like a 4-lobe bottle on top, so it's like this thing is divided in 4 lobes, and basically this is like the Parfum Extrait, like the pure perfume concentrate of that other perfume, which was like an eau de parfum. So this one is really nice. It comes, because it's in this big unpractical bottle, it comes with a white atomizer and a funnel for you to pour this in and do it, and have it a travel spray to go with. Unfortunately, and then this actually came with orange flowers, paper orange flowers twisted around with mesh and lace to make a really beautiful bouquet around this area, but I had to take it off because when I opened it, it was really cumbersome, this garland, that I actually broke it. So now I keep it in a drawer somewhere, and I don't put it on top right here anymore because I broke it, it doesn't stay on. So this is like that other one, but it's much more concentrated. So the vanilla in this is super, super strong, and I think they have another note that's like kind of like a slightly bittersweet and really powdery that is also in this, that is really, really strong. So the issue with this is, because you have to pour it into, through the funnel and into that little travel tube, it's really hard to gauge how much is going when you're pouring in. So you have to be very careful, because I over poured into the funnel. I must have this problem because I do this all the time. Over poured into the funnel, and it kind of like all the perfume, kind of a lot of it fell out, and it got really sticky and everything like that. And then the thing is, when you pour it into the atomizer, you have to make sure you really tighten up the bottle, because this might seem light when you first get it, but because there's an evaporation, a little bit of evaporation, it gets really, really strong smelling. It got so strong smelling that even though I had it on the travel spray on my dresser drawer, whenever I turned around to that side of the bed, it smelled so strong that one time it kept me from sleeping, and I actually had to get up and take the travel spray and put it into a drawer like further away in the room than where I was sleeping, because it was actually keeping me from being like sleeping. That was that strong. So this gets really concentrated, used very sparingly. The thing with this is really hard to get. I was only able to get this at the Neiman Marcus boutique, but only after I kind of pre-ordered it or something. So for Neiman Marcus, they occasionally, like every other month or 2 months or every quarter, someone from the Guerlain headquarters or sales team in Paris comes over with a bunch of goodies like these that are generally not carried in the boutique, and they'll invite you to either a lunch or some sort of event where people can sniff the goodies and they can buy these harder to find things from Paris. So they'll have goodies to give you, like freebies and stuff like that, samples and stuff like that. For you if you attend those. But then they kind of do, the expectation is that you do buy some expensive stuff. So that was quite expensive. I'm still glad I got it, but if I knew what this was like, I would not have gotten both. I would probably be satisfied with the lighter version of it, this one, because this one is quite strong enough. I didn't think the concentrated version had that much more advantage over this one. So this one is like, I think like 50% the price of that other one. Of course, this one is a lot smaller. That one was a 4 point something ounces, fluid ounces. This is only 2 point, so I guess they're pretty much on par. But this is a lot easier to use because it's easier to control bottle, even with a dabber. Even if you just dab it on, it's easier to do because that one has a really large opening. So word to the wise, if you ever get a chance to try this or that, it's a really nice perfume and it's great for collecting, but it's not the most practical. But if you were to choose between either that or this, I'd totally pick this just for practical reasons. Okay. Speaking of collection, so if you go to these events and you're a good customer, you're loyal, whatever, you'll get sometimes of free gifts like this. So these are just, they're not sold, they're free gifts for loyal customers. And I got one of these at like one from several years ago. So this was, voila, check this out, how nice this is. This is like the styrofoam that keeps it in place. But yeah, so basically, oh, this is what it is. Isn't this beautiful? So this is a gorgeous candle set with the candle snuffer. This is what you put over the flame to snuff out the candle. And this is like really elegant. So you just kind of like go like this, poof, over the flame. And this is really cool. This is nice product. It's not like it's not cheap feeling. It's nice and heavy. And then here's the card. It says with compliments from Guerlain, Maison founded in Paris, 1828. There's a card, and then it tells you how to, you know, trim the wick and snuff it out and stuff with the instructions. And this is the most useful thing. So as you know, it's like a scissors thing that has like a cutting thing right here. Basically what it does is you're supposed to burn your candle for whatever time, and then when you snuff it out, before you light it the next time, you have to trim the wick to half, I think half an inch, no, is it half a centimeter? But anyways, you have to trim it to pretty short, because if you don't and you leave the burnt part that's really long, it causes smokiness and uneven burning. So if you want to make your candles burn better and not smoky, then use this trimmer every time. Oops. So this is really cool, because if you had to buy this, it would cost some money. And then here's the candle. I'm not going to take it out. This candle is Philtre D'Amour. So this is a really awesome candle, which is a spicy, slightly fruity floral scent. It's warm, it's really nice. And Philtre D'Amour is like a hard to find perfume, especially in America. So I'm really happy to get this. And it's in a reusable ceramic dish with also a Guerlain like embossed like ceramic dish on the bottom too. I mean, it's in a ceramic pot with a ceramic dish on the bottom too. So this is really cool. So Philtre D'Amour is a perfume that I've always wanted to try, and you know, now I'll be able to sniff it in candle form. So I was really happy to get that, to get this present, because this is not something that you can just find. I don't think you can actually buy this in America, because it's just for freebies. Speaking of freebies, so if you're a good customer and loyal and whatnot, you'll get these really big samples. So one of my, and these samples are great because a lot of times you might not know whether you want to splurge any money on buying any Guerlain, and some of them are not really worth it to me. I know I'm an avid collector, but some of it I've actually kind of skipped. But others I've actually received samples from this and tried it out, and I've discovered that I really love them. So one of them is this. and this is French Kiss, and this is part of their like a now discontinued line. So I'm really sad because by the time I got to trying this out and actually loving it, French Kiss is a gourmand. It's like a really tender, not too sweet, but a really tender, not harsh, soft, feminine, just lovely vanilla with raspberry. So this is raspberry, violets in the most innocent, lightly powdered way, not heavy, not too sweet, and it's just amazing. So to me, this is like Amelie Paris, you know what I mean? That pinkish sort of violet-y cloud that I associate with Paris, and it's so lovely and such an innocent and tender perfume. And I'm really livid with myself that I missed out on the opportunity to get it, because there are a few bottles online, but they are so expensive now. So, and you also don't know whether they're real or not, because there's a lot of fakes coming from other countries, especially Eastern Europe. So you have to be careful about that. So anyways, French Kiss, my last little few droplets of it. I mean, it is concentrated a little bit, so it a little bit does last a long time. The only thing about these is these are not sprays, they're dabbers. So, you know how I feel about dabbers. I don't really love them, but for this, I really love it. So how I store this is I store them upright in like a cosmetic tray. You know, the ones where they were built for like lipsticks and stuff. So you can stick a few, like 3 or 4 of these upright into the lipstick thing, and then it keeps it upright. Because I know if you have it sideways or something like that, that it's gonna evaporate more. Let me just keep it upright over here. Another one that I quite like, but I didn't want to get because I didn't think it was worth it, even though it's really lovely. It's like a fresh, suede neroli, green, dewy, nice. But the thing with, so this is Neroli Outrenoir. I would not buy this full price. If it was like discounted or something like that, then I would buy it, because it really doesn't last at all. But it's super lovely, super bright, super green, super dewy. It's not like your bitter, heavy neroli. This is like sunshine, basically, but so fleeting. It's not worth it. So speaking of fleeting, there are some Guerlains that are super fleeting, and I just got like a travel spray of it, and one of them is Après Lande. So Après Lande is discontinued, and Après Lande means after the rain. Like Lande is like a rainstorm, I guess, and then afterwards, this is what the world smells like. It smells really dewy, fresh, slightly powdery, innocent florals. I think it's mostly iris and some slight fruits and dew and whatnot. But the problem with that is it hardly lasts anything, but it's super nice. So that one I was only able to get in a travel spray, and that's good enough for me. So I wish they would bring it back with a longer staying formula. But speaking about longer staying, I have these other ones that are super strong and long lasting, and they are, let's see, where is that other one? Okay, so I got this one. This is Rose Nacree du Désert. So this one is from another discontinued line, but they probably have another version of it. They're always, the thing about Guerlain is they're always revamping their line. So they have a new line that has like 20 something bottles of different perfume. So they probably repackaged this under a different name. So this one, if you love incense and if you love rose, especially jammy, super long lasting rose, this is something that you might want to consider. So the reason why this one is, and it's not a safe wear, it's what I would call like a special occasion wear. And it's very strong. That thing lasts forever. The rose especially is super jammy, meaning like it's almost like raspberry jam, but just rose. It's very thick and it has a lot of incense and spices. It's kind of like dry incense, like Middle Eastern incense, and super thick and nice. So if you love rose, you might want to give this a sniff. This is in the same range, but it's a lot drier. It's kind of like dry desert wood, driftwood or something like that is this. And this is your, typical Middle Eastern woody perfume. So Songe du Bois d'été is like, I think it means like something like dry woods or something like that of the summer. And that's basically what this is. It's like a dry, summery wood that's like out in the desert, like driftwood or something. You know what I mean? Not driftwood, but those desert baked woods that are out in the desert. So this is what it smells like: dry spices, sand, sunshine, and wood. Dry wood. This is what it's like. It's not like your harsh, sappy green wood. It's super dry. Okay, speaking of wood, well, now we have this really beautiful wood. So if you never got to smell Santal Royale, they probably repackaged it in something else. The Santal Royale is one of my favorites. So it has like a lovely peach note. So the peach note and a lot of some of this other stuff, it's ambery and whatnot. There's a lot going on in here. So if you want the full gamut of Middle Eastern and you like something woody at the end and slightly peachy, this is one of the things that you might consider. This is like a really long lasting, quite complex, spicy peach, woody, amber, everything like perfume, basically. You get your money's worth with this, So basically, if you like warm, spicy, woody perfumes, ambery, this is it. This like runs the gamut. It has many layers, and then it just is super long lasting as well. Unfortunately, it might be hard to find in this version because this bottle is gone, but you'll probably be able to find it in the new bottles. Unfortunately, I got this before the new bottles got into play because these were a lot cheaper than the new bottles, and this is actually like 4.2 ounces. So if you see these floating around, you might want to snatch up one of these. Let's see. Let's go from that to something a little less. Let's do something sunny. So this perfume, everybody knows. This is their terracotta perfume. This is like what I call summer tropical floral vacation perfume. It kind of smells like tropical islands to me, like tropical, like kind of beachy vibes, like suntan lotion beachy vibes, that type of coconutty, white floral, yellow floral type of breezy vibe. This is what this is. Not to everyone's taste. This is very sunny and it's just not like your white florals from the city. Let's just put it like that. It's your white floral suntan lotion, body lotion on the beach type of floral. Very casual, not bad. It's not exactly to my taste. Sometimes I do have a taste for florals like this. One of my favorites is actually beige from the Chanel line, exclusive line, and that one is a gorgeous like frangipani, which is like a yellow tropical floral, and that type of vibe. I like that a little bit better, but this one is a lot cheaper, so there's that. So this is like your typical yellow floral. I still love it for my collection because it's something different. I want like a whole range, so I can, Guerlain ranges from like your super spicy incense, sandalwood types, Middle Eastern types, to your beach vibe types. And speaking of beach vibe, I mean, these are not... Okay, let's not do beach vibe. Something a little bit different from the beach vibe is like, let's just say innocent city girl or something like that. is these. So everybody knows these bottles that loves Guerlain, and these are the Insolence line ones. So I kind of came late to the Insolence line because I don't generally like super fruity, sweet florals. I had to grow to like them. But ever since I liked the French Kiss, I kind of thought, you know what, I like violet. Let me see what their violet line has to offer. So I got this. This is the, I think, Eau de Parfum. And this is, I don't mind this. This is not bad. It's kind of like a fruity violet candy, basically. That's musk. That's, you know, this is like nice and innocent. I don't love it. You know, I can do without it. But yeah, it's like your fruity violet candy. But I really like this. And this one is nice and icy. Because it's called Insolence Eau Glacee. Glacé means icy, I guess, in French. And basically, it's like a slightly cooling, I don't know how they get that cooling effect, but it's like a cooling, slightly powdery, musky, less super fruity, less syrupy version of the other Insolence. And this is like a really nice, lovely musk. So I use this super sparingly because this, as usual, is also discontinued. I really love the dry down on this. The dry down is like a slightly powdery, irisy, violety, your skin but better musk. You know what I mean? It's like that perfume where you spray it on, you're like, okay, it's fine. And then like 2 or 3 hours later, you're like, wow, what smells so good? And it's the back end of this perfume. If you ever get a chance to check this out and you like these innocent, slightly powdery violet candy perfumes, give this a try. It's not too sweet. This is very nice. Not syrupy like this. This is on the syrupier side, which makes me not like it as much. It's also fruitier too, and a little bit heavier. This is lighter and cooling. Speaking of heavy, I have this Mon Guerlain is one of my favorite perfumes, to the point where I actually bought like a huge giant bottle of it when I went to one of these gatherings, and I was ashamed to say it that I didn't realize that they would be plying me with free champagne, and they were like mini baby champagnes in these cute little glasses. With a straw on them. So basically I went and they served me like chicken Caesar salad for lunch with apples or something, and walnuts and blue cheese, and then they also had like a little bit of dessert. And whilst you were eating, they around the table they would be wheeling out these like gorgeous things. So they showed a picture of Guerlain. And I was like, oh, I was a little bit tipsy because I have no tolerance for alcohol. And after drinking one full, like, mini champagne bottle all by myself, I said, I love Mon Guerlain. I think it's a new modern classic. And that was enough for the sales lady that she came from Paris. So she ran up to me and she latched onto me and she goes, oh, do you love this? And I said, yes, I do. I absolutely love it. And I was like saying, I love it on this and this and this. And she goes, oh, that's great. We have just the thing for you. We didn't bring it because it's too big. But we have, for our Mon Guerlain lovers, we have the collector's item, Baccarat, crystal, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. Thinking it was just like, you know, maybe the size of like 4 ounces or 4 fluid ounces or something like that. And she goes, yeah, it's spectacular. We have to go and we have to special order it from Paris. It might take several months to get here because we have to ship it by ship. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful. And she goes like, okay, we'll have you order it. And I was like, okay, sure. And then when after the dinner, when they went to ring up my special purchase, it turned out it was the cost of a designer purse. Okay. And when I got it, I was in shock for my life because that thing was huge. The lid on it, so it's shaped like this. Let me show you. It's shaped like this in the quadrilobe bottle. The lid over here was as big as my head. Okay, that's how big it was, and the body of that was huge. This jar was giant, and it was such thick crystal or glass, whatever, and it had, I think it held over a liter of perfume. And this was not just eau de parfum or eau de toilette. It was actually the pure perfume, like the really intense perfume. This was before the intense version came out, like several years before it did. And it was that really thick liquid. So I ended up with a huge bottle of over a liter of Mon Guerlain, and it's sitting in its own little case with a cover over it in my closet because I don't want it to get sunlight and I don't want it to be evaporated. But yeah, I bought that when I was drunk at a Guerlain event. So when you are invited to these events, please do not drink the champagne unless you want to shell out some money, and do not be too enthusiastic about anything, because then they will put the pressure on you to buy something. And when you're drunk and you're, happy, and you are not going to be using your best judgment. Although I'm not unhappy that I have it, because if you're a collector and you love beautiful things, it's gorgeous. It's like the pride of my collection. When I die, I want people to bust that open, and I want them all to take like a little atomizer, little sample of that to remember me by. Yeah. But speaking about Mon Guerlain, sorry I went off on that tangent. I'm going to insert a picture of it so you can see what it looks like. It's really huge. But I also have this. So this is the predecessor to Mon Guerlain. It's called, let's see, what is it called? Mon Exclusif. So this is Mon Exclusif, and this is like the predecessor to Mon Guerlain. And this is a super strong, really concentrated Mon Guerlain with buttery toffee, like a rich toffee, buttery, kind of slightly salty afternotes to it. So this is really lovely, but I feel like I might be the only person in the world that thinks this, okay? But I feel like Mon Guerlain is actually the more refined version of this, although this is more complicated, because I feel like this is a little bit too intense and a little bit too rough. It's not as refined as Mon Guerlain. I think Mon Guerlain is more balanced, and I don't really like how rough this is. I feel like it's just too aggressive. I don't know. It's just me. I'm like one of these only people that complains about perfumes being too strong, maybe, who's also like a perfume collector. Most perfume collectors rave about perfumes that are super long lasting and super strong, but I get overwhelmed, I guess. This actually does not, I have it came with this weird like gold box that was kind of like flat and long and big. And I don't have that anymore because it was just really annoying. So I actually keep this in one of my like sample boxes. Like the tester sample boxes that are just plain white. I found one that is like this size, and I just put it in that instead, because that gold box, that fancy thing, was just too annoying. It was kind of like it was sandwiched this in the middle of it. It wasn't just like in a regular perfume box, so I didn't like that, and I got rid of it. But now I kind of regret it, because I should have just sold this on in that gold box in the original back packaging. So because someone who collects this would probably really have liked that, the whole set shebang. But I think I will just keep this for now, because I might at some point get a liking for this. And also because I have all the Mon Guerlain versions, this would also be completing the thing. I'll probably wear it like twice a year or something. Let's see. Okay, so now we have a few other ones that I want to talk quickly about, so this is Chant D'Arome. This is gotten very cheaply off like Fragrance Net. This is a very powdery, aldehydic, white floral, a little bit soapy, but very substantial. So this is not one of these wispy ones that just wispy off. This is a really old formula. These other ones that I was talking about are more recent. So this is really old. I think it's from the 70s or 80s or whatever. But this is quite nice if you like your white florals from the 80s and you're feeling nostalgic. It's quite nice. So it's quite substantial and quite lovely. But, you know, some people might find it a little bit dated who don't like aldehydes. I quite like it. It's quite nice. This one, Jicky, I had to get it because this is a lavender herbal perfume that was, I think it was like a forerunner or to, it might be a forerunner to Shalimar maybe. But anyways, it's a lavender centric perfume that is a little bit old fashioned and powdery. That's really aromatic, I think. I think it also has some leather in it. But anyways, I quite like it. It's a bit masculine. Men can wear it, but women too, especially. So I'm glad I got this because they're probably going to get rid of this or repackage it or something too. So this has gotten really cheaply off Fragrance Net. So if you like classic perfumes that are have this classic sort of aldehydic formula from the 80s or something like that, you might want to snatch this up. And if you like lavender and aromatics, this is really good too. Let's see. Here's some other ones that I've been loving lately that I kind of, I didn't like before. And this is Cuir Beluga, where cuir means leather. And I had this in one of my leather videos. And the thing is, I am liking this now because it's winter. And this is a super powdery, airy, subtle, the gorgeous vanilla with benzoin. So benzoin is slightly ambery, and goes really well, and sweet, and goes well with vanilla. So it's like ambery vanilla, not heavy. It's like a cloud. It's very airy. When you first spray it, you might not be able to notice it, but then as you're moving about the day, you'll get poofs of this light, airy vanilla, and you'll be like, wow, this smells great. It's not heavy. It's not cooking vanilla. It's like powdery, airy vanilla with amber notes to it. Really good. Cuir Beluga. Okay, speaking about airy and benzoin, we're coming to Louis. So they had another version of this Louis that was kind of like in this jar, in this bottle with the gold, the art material line that was called Bois d'Arménie. And Bois d'Arménie means wood of Armenia, and basically it's a type of incense that is in paper form that you burn the paper. And what it is, it's like a smoky benzoin. So smoky, it's smoky but not like campfire smoky. It's just slightly smoky incense with a warm, ambery, airy, vanillic aftermath. So this is basically that. Louis is very light and skin scent, and it has the same benzoin, light, airy, vanillic amber type of cloud effect. Louis, this is really nice. It's quiet scent. It's also slightly spicy. It's like an incensey spicy scent, but not loud. This is nice and quiet, close to the skin. If this bottle is discontinued, so if you see any floating around and you like those type of poofy, cloudy scents, snap this up. This is nice. Let's see, what else do I have? Okay. Oh, and I'm coming to the last one for now, and this is one where it's like heartbreaking that I have to talk about. So this is this is called Baiser de Russie. So Baiser de Russie means kiss, Russian kiss. And it's really beautiful, light green, kind of like pistachio colored. And this is a really lovely perfume. It's slightly gourmand, but also kind of airy and aromatic because it has pine in it. It also has a slight pistachio note, I believe. So basically, this is like an aromatic, light gourmand. And the problem is that it comes in this type of bottle. This is like the bee bottle. So basically, this is a classic Guerlain bottle that has these scallops on top, and it's emblazoned with their bees. Bees are the symbol of Guerlain. That's their house animal. The problem is that it comes in with this stupid poofy thing that I've told before that I don't like. So this poofy thing, when you put it in, when you take the plunger, when you take this thing off, so this is actually pretty tight. If you take this off and you put that thing, the poofy thing on, it isn't tight. And it will start evaporating. And I know this because I have something else in this line that two things. And it's just heartbreaking. So the other one that I have of this that I have it at work is Mon Precieux Nectar. So that one is a gorgeous, bright sunshine yellow honey and floral fragrance. So that one is another gourmand that is just, if you like delicate orange flower honey, that is like, that's like astonishing. It's like so good. But because it's in this stupid bottle and I mistakenly put in that poofy spray, it actually started evaporating to where this much of it is like gone. And then because it started evaporating, the liquid in here got more concentrated, because as the alcohol portion is what gets evaporated, so the liquid left behind is really thick. So it kind of lost like some of its airiness. I think what they do is they actually make these kind of watery to begin with because they expect some sort of evaporation, so it doesn't get so thick. But at some point when it gets super thick, it's not that enjoyable anymore because you're losing the airiness and the transparency and the dewiness. So I'm heartbroken because that one at work, I'm even afraid to transport it because I don't know what I did with the box and I don't know what I did with this plunger thing. So I'm thinking I will have to buy a cheaper atomizer, and I would have to go and decant that whole entire bottle into like a cheap, like generic decant bottle, which kind of kills me because these are such beautiful bottles. And if I had not tossed away or misplaced the top, I would be able to go and seal it back and bring it home safely. But right now it's in my office, like scenting my stationery and pens with this gorgeous, expensive scent. So anyways, so because of that, I really don't dare to really use this as much, and I really will never put that atomizer thing on top of it. I will always keep the top on like this. But then because I do it like this, I'm forced to use it as a dabber, which is not my favorite way of doing it, because I feel like spraying stuff, it spreads the perfume in a nicer, more evenly distributed way where you can smell the top notes easier. If you have a pool fragrance that is just like a little puddle on your skin, it's not the same experience. It just doesn't smell the same, like, because the notes evaporate differently, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of pissed off at myself. I have another bottle of something like this that's also beautiful, that is a fluffy marshmallow gourmand with labdanum, and that is also in this line in this bottle, and it's called Mademoiselle, which is also discontinued. And that one I got in Hong Kong, and that is also another stupid experience, which I will talk about in another video because this is just too long. Thank you for your patience, and hope you like and subscribe if you like what I'm talking about. I'll talk to you later. Bye.